With regard to police shooting dogs a lot in America now, they were recently, a lot of police, apparently all of them even, a lot of them anyway, were recently fired and then rehired on the basis of they were rehired on the basis of their having or new police were hired on the basis of their having IQs of 100, that's average, or less. So they were looking for people who, they've now got people who don't do a lot of thinking and maybe not very interested in anything except their paychecks, basically, and will just do as they're told for money. So in this case, what you might want to do is consider getting some public information requests. In the UK, I can't do it because I'm in the UK. In the UK, we have something called public information requests, where you can find out some secret or undisclosed information quite often. Quite a lot, actually, quite often, at least half the time or more, apparently, just by making an official request for it. Any member of the public can. So basically, if you've got anything like that in America, you could try doing that and hopefully get an interesting result. You could ask specifically what the criteria were for hiring the police after they were all fired recently, a year or so or two ago, and or recently, whenever it was, and what the criteria was for rehiring them, and most particularly whether or not they were willing to shoot dogs, had pets, had any animals, had been hunting, had a gun, had ever killed an animal, liked hunting, or anything like that, or anything else that might pertain to whether or not they had an unsympathetic nature. You know, if they did an emotional quotient thing as well, because there's such a thing as an emotional quotient as well these days, not just an intelligence quotient. And they may have been looking for people with lower emotional quotients, people who are unresponsive, unresponsive to others' distress, uninterested in others' welfare, really, things like that. People who put themselves first, people who don't care for anybody else, unsympathetic, unempathic people. In short, psychopaths, really, not very nice people. And if they did want to hire people on that basis, and you could also ask whether or not what the criteria were for their being hired with regard to the empathic quotient test. Was it if they had average or lower scores there as well? Is that how they passed that test? So things like that would be of interest, really. It's definitely in the public interest, so if they ask why you're making this request or anything, or ask extra added information, you could just say, I think it's in the public interest. On what basis our police are rehired? Are hired. So you could try that, and hopefully that will help. Thanks. Bye.